You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show. The preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Chris Voss Show. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you, but doesn't judge you, at least not as harshly as the rest of the world does. Because we know you're here, you're learning, you're trying to get to know yourself better, you're trying to get to know the world better, you're trying to get to know human nature better. You're the people who are making a difference because you're learning. You know, there's an old saying by George Carlin that says, realize how dumb the average person is and realize that 50% of them are dumber than that. If you understand the law of averages, you understand how that works. But if you don't understand the law of averages, well, you know which 50% you're in. But the beautiful part about our audience is they're always learning, they're always growing, they're trying to get better, and kudos to you, because you people are the ones who are going to make the difference in the world. And the rest of the people, I guess, are just going to go like lemmings off a sheep, off a cliff or something. I don't know. Anyway, guys, but refer the show to your family. This is what we're trying to set up here. Refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives so they don't end up the lemmings running off a cliff. And there you go. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss, one on the TikTokity, and Chris Voss, Facebook.com. Today, an amazing young lady on the show today. We're going to be talking about her insights, what she does, and how she makes the world better with the work that she does. Today, we have on the show with us, let me pull this up here. We have the Dreamers and Founders CEO with us today, Kayshree Governor. Let me hit that a different way. I'm having problems with getting our screen up to see this. So there we go. Kayshree Governor is the powerhouse behind Dreamers and Founders, a bold global movement turning today's kids into tomorrow's CEOs. She's on a mission to equip young dreamers with the tools to begin booming businesses and bold futures. Her entrepreneurial spirit was unstoppable from the age of 10. She had launched her own dance school, and since then, she's earned multiple modeling crowns and patents, representing her country on international stages, and a passionate advocate for educating and lifting girls and women in rural communities. Welcome to the show. How are you, Kayshree?
I'm great. How are you?
I am excellent. Give us your .coms. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
So we are Dreamers and Founders on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. So they can find us there.
There you go. And so give us a 30,000 overview of what you do there.
So we've built a global movement whereby we teach kids from 8 to 18 how to build real, actual businesses. So we take them from their mindset, we groom them, and we help them build and turn their ideas into actual businesses.
There you go. And do you do this? You mentioned you represent your country in several awards you've received. What country do you represent there for?
South Africa.
I
was actually born and brought up in South Africa.
Well, there you go. And so do you mostly do your company's work in South Africa, or is this an international agenda?
No, so we started out in a rural area in South Africa, but we've gone global and we've tried and tested with a lot of international students, more so than in South Africa. Yes.
There you go. And so how does it work? How do people sign up? What do they get for it? And all that good stuff.
Okay, so we're hosting a masterclass on the 26th of June at 11 a.m. EST. And from there, they will have to look at the masterclass, go through the work, and before they leave, they would actually launch a business. And if they're happy thereafter, we do have one-on-one coaching. They're more than welcome to join us for that.
There you go. So so they sign up on the website. What sort of people are your target audience out there? What are the people that you try to get with and go with?
So I would say any parent that, is feeling a bit stuck, is feeling like their child is glued to a screen the whole time. They're lacking conversation with their kids. They know that their kids are destined for more, but life has thrown them Roblox games and PlayStation apps, etc. So we're looking for any child that just has a drive and is teachable,
Hmm.
because we believe that we would spark and ignite that vision and that dream into building a business for them.
Wow, there you go. And so, why is it more important to, or I don't know about more important, but why focus on kids and youth? Why is it important to try and instill the entrepreneurial spirit with them in their youth?
I think, firstly, kids change everything
Hmm.
because that's the foundation for them to know and to learn and to nurture. And I think, the most important from what we've experienced is their mindset. If you can teach them how to think differently in terms of their confidence, their resilience,
Hmm.
if we can teach them ownership in a world that often teaches them to follow,
Hmm.
when a child learns that they can turn an idea into an income, their confidence explodes. They start seeing problems as opportunities. They learn how to speak, how to pitch, how to lead, and most importantly, they learn that they are capable of doing far much more. And I think the other most important thing is that we forget sometimes, we think, oh, children are just going to be doing businesses. But in relation to that, when you sit at a dinner table, you go from, oh, what did you do at school today? Kids don't want to be asked that. They don't want to engage. They don't want to have these conversations. But it creates a shift on that dinner table to say, what are you doing for your business today? How are you growing? What can I help? And kids are amazing because they're resilient in the fact that they would come and say, Mom, did you know we could do this?
Hmm.
And then that sparks a different bond between a parent and a child, a grandparent. And I
Hmm.
think that's what a lot of families are suffering with right now. It's, trying to build a bond with their child in today's lifestyle and still keeping up with the AI and, everything else that the Generation Z is going through.
Yeah, and AI is going to bring some real changes to where we're pretty much going to be basically, um, we're pretty much going to be basically all entrepreneurs selling data and information and service and knowledge and coaching and all that sort of good stuff as the AI I think takes over other things that are going on in the world. And so it's kind of an interesting place. I became an entrepreneur. I became an entrepreneur at 18. There was no one running. I didn't even know I was an entrepreneur. I was just a kid who got fired from McDonald's for having long hair and was trying to survive. And my dad's like, you can't stay at home and just do nothing. We were Gen X, so um, you got to go out and you're 18 now. Get the hell out of my home. So that's how it was. And so we uh I wish there would have been more of a conversation when I was young where people would go, hey, here's an option for you, entrepreneurism. Like no one did that. No one did that in the career thing in school. No one the career counselors at school weren't like, hey, maybe being an entrepreneur is a good thing for you. It's almost like you say, just go get a job, do the bot work. I always remember that mass manufacturing scene in Pink Floyd's We Don't Need No Education where the kids are coming off the conveyor belt, and they're taught to just be mind spun. And so yeah, we need more of this because there's so much innocence and looking at life from a different angle that youth have as well.
Yeah. And that is so true what you're saying. You looked for a mentor or a coach to speak to you even about entrepreneurship. But us being adults, we also, you get stuck along the way. And if you know anything about an entrepreneurial journey, it's a tough one
Mm,
because you're starting it out, you don't know whether you're doing the right thing or you feel like it's the right thing, but 10 million other things are happening wrong. So it's always nice to say, okay, look, go through the process where people have been through it. They are, so it's almost like they're failing forward in a sense with
Hmm.
with the right support structures, because it's important, while you're young, that you have support. And I
Hmm.
think that's the key point for us. We have a community in there to say, look, you know, obviously we cannot foresee every objection that's going to come your way, or
Hmm.
negative problem that's going to come. But this is our way of helping you fail forward.
Hmm. Fail forward, as it were. There you go. There you go. But yeah,
So, yeah.
when kids are young, they have so much innocence. They look at the world through what could be as opposed to what it is, and they ask questions. They ask a lot of questions like, why do we do it this way? That's what a lot of people do in consulting and counseling is, they look at things and go, why do you do it this way? And they go, well, we've always done it this way. And that doesn't mean it's the right way, you know? Um, and so, being able to look at the world from that angle, being able to see innovation, I think as children is so much more important. I mean, that's why you kind of see most of Silicon Valley is all 20-year-olds because of the innovation, the disruption that they tend to see. Are they always right? Are they always good at running businesses? No, I don't know why people do that. But have fun with that. It's not my money, I guess. Uh, but young people have a drive where they can really focus on
Mhm.
stuff. If you got a family, wife, and kids, you got to provide for. You got to keep a good job. You got to keep the insurance. You got to pay your taxes. You got to, do all the things, and you're pretty much booked for your time, really. But
Mhm.
kids they have a lot of time. They have a lot of time to ponder. They have a lot of time to daydream. They have a lot of time to imagine. And really, that's where innovation lies, I think. What do you think?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And I think also with kids, they have this drive and the confidence. They're willing to try everything and anything. Whereas an adult, you're too scared. Certain things come your way and you're like, oh, no, I don't think that's for me. I don't think I could push myself to that. But the way these kids ask amazing questions, that they fearless. And,
Hmm.
and I think that for me says that they've got the entrepreneurial spirit built in them. It's, when you grow up and you build the limitations on yourself, whereas kids don't have that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So yeah, all for them going. And I think that for me, the biggest part, or how it started, was my son was engrossed in his iPad, glued. And it was through a very difficult time in my life, and I had gone through a very messy divorce, and I had just lost my mom to cancer.
Oh
And
no.
I think in that whole process, I lost myself in the sense that, it was a lot to deal with. And having to, now sit with the emotion, and having to go through all of this. And I honestly, I didn't have the time to deal with all that he was going through.
Hmm.
And I fed him the iPad, and I said, okay, you know what, you could just play with your iPad.
Hmm.
And one day it dawned on me to say, he came and he's like, mommy, I need another app. And I said, you know what, we actually don't have money for another app. And it was like, the life got sucked out of me, and it was such a disappointment, because as a mother, all you just want to do is you don't care. You can work 5 jobs as long as your child is, taken care of, and you've provided. And you know anything and everything that you could drop just to give to your child. I think that's any mother would do.
Hmm.
Not that I'm saying a dad wouldn't, but I think that's a mother's first instinct, is like, I would drop heaven and earth to make sure that my child has everything that they need.
Hmm.
And when he had asked me that, it literally felt like, what, I was a total failure. I couldn't, give my child what he wanted or what he need. In his eyes, this is what he needed.
Hmm.
And it dawned on me, and I said, no, you know what? I've got to snap out of this because I've let this child, come in and now take over and deal with what all I've been dealing with, the grief, the emotion, the everything else. And I said to him, you know what? Today, I'm not going to give that to you. I'm actually going to teach you how to do this. And,
Ah,
you know, I think he just looked at me and was like, oh, you know what? Kids, they've got this attitude, and you're just
yeah.
like, oh my God, you know what? Mom doesn't know best. So whatever.
Mm,
And it was at the back of a cereal box. We literally crafted out with crayons,
mm.
and we crafted his first business idea. And then that planted the seed for me.
Wow.
And it said, you know what? How many other parents out there have probably gone through the same thing as me or are going through the same thing? And how many kids out there are feeling, like they have to take whatever emotions parents are going through? And honestly, in today's world, I think parents go through a lot
Yeah,
because life
I
has,
agree.
has thrown us something else that we probably, just going through the motion to figure out how to deal with it ourselves.
Mm,
And that's where Dreamers and Founders was planted, or the seed was planted, and we tried it with quite a few kids, and now we have thousands of success stories all over the world where kids are just amazed. They are in awe of all that they have achieved. And as for parents, I think the parents love the community more because um, their relationships with their kids have grown 10x.
mm. And that's always good to have. I mean, that's always good to have. I think kids need more. I wish they would teach an entrepreneur class in at schools.
Yeah.
I wish they would do some of the stuff, but you're doing it. So now your goal is to create a community. How do you function that community? Is it a Facebook group? Is it going to be on your website? How
Yeah.
does that work?
So we have a Facebook group, but we also have in terms of our website, we have a community within the website built. And the beauty part about that, we get professionals in where we have children psychologists, we have relationship consultants, we have the whole package to make ensure that the entire family is seen to.
Hmm. There you go. And yeah, having children, train their parents train their kids is really important. I mean, really, when you think about it, why not get the kid to, raise a bunch of money, pay for his high school, maybe he can pay you back for all the costs you pay for his college and all that good stuff, maybe pay you back for all the money you spent raising him. You know, Jeff Bezos's parents loaned him money. That's how he built Amazon. And they're not doing too bad, I'm sure, right now. So maybe that's the thing to do is
Oh,
raise those little money makers.
true, very true. Because I mean, if you look at it, school teaches children how to memorize, and that's
Hmm.
it. It stops there.
Yep.
And I think this what we've built, and we've seen the results, is that we teach kids how to actually monetize it,
Mm.
and it is insane. It is absolutely insane when they just earn their first paycheck from whatever business they've built.
Yeah. And the thing about being an entrepreneur is it changes you and makes you grow up in ways that almost nothing else does. Probably the next closest thing is parenting, but it teaches you to self-actualize. It teaches you self-accountability. It teaches you, it tests the limits of your character and personality. It'll make you grow in ways that, whether you want to or not, it's going to drag you. So you're going to have to grow up as a person and
Yeah.
learn stuff. And, if not, you're bound to fail. And that's usually what happens to people that fail at being an entrepreneur. And there's other mitigating factors in that too, as well.
Mhm.
But still, it can be an issue for people. So, yeah, I think this is a great idea, what you're trying to build. And of course, any children or families in the world can be a part of this. Is that correct?
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
So, as we go out, like, give us a roundout as to, is there anything we've missed? Anything we need to talk about? Anything we need to tease out on what people should know about what you're doing there?
Yeah. So if anybody wants to join in terms of partnering up with us, in terms of any businesses or entrepreneurs that are out there and would love or loves our mission, we would love to partner up with you guys. And even if you can send us a 5-minute video or anything, words of encouragement for kids, because I mean, an entrepreneurship journey is a lonely one and a very stressful one, and we just want to make it a fun journey for them, and for them to understand that they've got people that have accomplished in their business journey, and just have some advice for them, to get them past the line, to get them excited and motivated, because I think that's a winning factor. And
Yeah.
also in terms of a servant leadership, if anyone out there would like to just give back even an hour or whatever time you have to just come join us on our webinars or send a video, anything that you have out there that you'd like to partner up with us, we'd really appreciate it. Just DM us, and happy days. And if there's any investors or venture capitalists, some of these kids' ideas that they come up with are out of
Yeah.
this world.
Yeah. I mean, we
So
definitely want to tap into that.
yeah, so if there's anyone that's out there that would, like to offer something like that, it would be fantastic. I mean, we have demo days where they would pitch all of their business ideas, and we are looking for anyone who wants to partner with them and allow them some funds to make their visions come true. That would be highly appreciated.
There you go. Well, it's been wonderful to have you on. Tell people where they can onboard your .coms, et cetera, and get to know you better.
Okay, so you can reach us on our Facebook. That's the best way to do it. We are Dreamers and Founders. And please, if you have any kids or you know of any kids, you want to sign up anybody's kids, bring them along. And we'll be having a masterclass on the 26th of June at 11 a.m. EST. And you'll get the links all from our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok channels. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you very much. Very insightful. And I love the vision of what you're doing. We need to teach entrepreneurs and to more young kids. And of course, this is the future, really, when it comes to, how AI is going to work. And really, it's going to be our knowledge that we're going to be selling to each other and our experience and helping lift each other and stuff in the future. It's not going to be so much about, the robots are going to do, different things like, they're going to be basically, doing manufacturing and all that sort of crazy stuff. So anyway, thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thanks, Ross, for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.